Now, a growing number of parents in Gauteng are trading the school gates for the front door. According to News24, there's been a significant spike in homeschooling applications, with nearly 2,200 parents in this province applying to educate their children at home in just the first 5 months of this year. This is not just old stats, we're talking about this year. They're citing a range of frustrations with the traditional schooling system. So why don't we unpack this? Is it a temporary trend? Is it a fundamental shift in how we view education as a country? To help unpack this, we're joined by the chairperson or the spokesperson as well of the Gauteng Association of Homeschooling. And we're speaking then to Janet Kieswetter. Janet, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it then. Let's just talk about this trend. Where did this come from? And what are the key reasons for it growing as much?
Good morning, Arabella. It's nice to be here today. The growing trend is because parents are aware of homeschooling now, more than ever. We were never in our space, in our headspace, that homeschooling is an option until 2020, when we were all forced to homeschool our children during lockdown. And suddenly it was on our awareness, and the resources, they have increased exponentially. So suddenly it's possible for so many parents to homeschool, and there's even free resources available. So it's a viable option for parents to choose these days. And that's why it's increased so amazingly.
Yeah, I mean, when one thinks about just going to actual school, you think about the fees, you think about school uniforms, you think about distance to and from, you think even about the curriculum. Is that a key element to this? Because while the curriculum is set, some parents, some families may feel like it isn't helpful to their child's advancement, the current curriculum as it stands, whether it be with private schooling or with public schooling.
Yes, parents are realizing that they can choose to tailor-make their education for their own children. They don't have to have their child in a classroom with 30 other children where they have the same syllabus. So homeschooling, the premise is that you can select various subjects and go in depth. As long as your child is eager and willing to learn, you can teach them things that may not be in our current curriculum. So children can decide what career path they want to follow and learn for themselves in that direction even sooner than ever was possible.
Yeah, what does this do, however, for mental acuity and societal acuity too? You don't necessarily have the social aspect which comes with schooling, but you do have the ability to learn maybe quicker because of the environment being a little bit more comfortable, but also very different to the workspace, which could be very social as well.
Yes, the public does seem to be concerned about socialization of homeschoolers. But remember, we don't learn in a bubble. We do get out and interact with friends and coaches and have all those extramural activities that public school children also have. And as you said, the children can work faster. They can select their own curriculum, and they can choose to head into subjects as faster than they want to learn and set out into their possible career paths and work harder on the things that they're good at, and maybe take more time with the things they struggle with. So that's why it's so ideal for individual learning.
Have the people you've spoken to and the parents you've engaged with spoken about bullying as one of the key reasons also for homeschooling, and how prevalent is that?
Yeah, so I have been homeschooling for 11 years, so I don't know, I can't speak for the schools and the bullying situation, but I have heard from a lot of parents that they are upset with bullying incidents at school. And unfortunately, sometimes the school is not able to deal with that satisfactorily. And then children are placed in stressful and anxiety and struggling with all kinds of mental health issues. So I think parents are deciding to choose health for their children and spending more time with them and putting family values first. And that is why they are choosing to bring them home. And remember, children are not all only children. They also have siblings that they have to learn conflict management with and interacting with other family members. So there is lots of family dynamics that are being evolving and being given more attention to via homeschooling.
Yeah, I actually have so many questions in my head now, but I wanted to ask how this works. Would a parent be teaching their own child, or would there be a specific homeschool teacher who would come to the home and then teach that child? And also, are those teachers no longer interested in teaching in schools, and that's why they do the homeschooling teaching, if that is the case?
Yes, you see, Arabella, there is a vast variety of homeschool options. So you have been mentioning a few options. Parents can teach their children themselves. They have got resources. There are free resources available online. Since we've got the internet, we're in the information age, we can ask any question to Google and we'll be given the answer. So parents are being given this opportunity to help their children individually, sitting alongside them, helping them through the textbooks that we've bought online or we've bought at a store. Or you can choose an online option where there are tutors and there are excellent people helping us and giving the children the information that they need. So there are very many diverse ways to homeschool and approaches of homeschooling. And that's why we can actually pick and choose and select a subject, a separate subject that's online, or we can do it in a workbook at home. And so we can piece together exactly what our child needs to suit them specifically.
Yeah, and what is the, let's call it the tertiary institutions and then workplace environments think of the qualification post-homeschooling? Because at this present moment in time, you get a national senior certificate out of school if you passed with grades good enough. That allows you to go into tertiary institutions if you'd like to. And then from there, work institutions then allow you to also work based off of that. Are these all accredited, and can they then follow through on a normal work-life balance after that?
Yes, good question. So homeschoolers have found various international methods to achieve the matric, and not just the senior certificate that's available in South Africa. We have borrowed from America, and we've got the American diploma. There's a GED. We've got the Cambridge route as well. So homeschoolers can select and decide, do they want an international accredited qualification? And then they can perhaps go in a different direction and choose an international curriculum. And that allows them to also go to university. And we've been engaging with the universities and discussing with them what are the different options and what direction the homeschoolers will be coming from. And they have seen that the homeschoolers are well prepared and ready for varsity. They've got real life experience. They also know how to apply the studies that they've been doing, because they've been practicing it for a while already, and they are well equipped to enter into university and even the job market, because homeschoolers are often entrepreneurs and they found ways to be resourceful and make their own way in their own path, and even go into a career earlier on as a teenager because they've found a passion that they feel strongly about, and they've studied about it and researched it, and then even equipped themselves through courses and online qualifications that are so immense and available to us these days.
Yeah, I mean, making sure you have communication, however, with the Gauteng Education Department is also important here. So how often do you do that? And is there an accreditation process so that one actually, if they're looking for homeschooling and it's somebody to come to the home to school them and not your parents per se, that you do it with the right person, it's done with the right educator, and that they are accredited in order to get the right qualification in the end?
Well, yes, parents don't need to be qualified in a certain direction to homeschool their children, because homeschooling is legal in South Africa. But we do engage with them and help parents, and we have discussions and meetings with the Department of Education, so we know that the education standards and what is expected of us as parents. And then the Gauteng Association of Homeschooling supports parents and helps inform them about what are the outcomes that the department is expecting. And we have to give in assessments every phase. After grade 3, grade 6, and grade 9, the department requests assessments from homeschoolers and reports that they can see we are progressing and we are learning. So there is that interaction and communication between homeschoolers and the Department of Education to make sure we are on par and we are even above educational standards in South Africa.
Yeah, very pertinent. Do you see this trend growing? I mean, how much more do you see people? 2,200 in the first 5 months is a lot of people already.
Yes, for sure. Homeschooling will continue to grow in Gauteng and South Africa and even the world because of the job market and the way that things are changing with technology. And look at artificial intelligence and everything that we have to learn to keep up with the job trends. The World Economic Forum says that by 2030, there will be 170 million new jobs will have been created, and 92 million existing jobs will be displaced because of the roles that are changing. And we will have to help our children be ready for this change. And they can start equipping themselves now and start being ready for this new job market and continual learning that is necessary. And that's what homeschooling does. It helps you to stay on par with what is happening in a changing society.